Chronic symptoms can feel like an endless cycle. Anxiety, fatigue, and the fear that you're never going to feel normal again. I was stuck in that for years, and just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, I developed POIS. But here's the breakthrough. I discovered a foundational piece that helped me heal and finally break free from that cycle. Stick around because in this video, I'm going to share how this simple method transformed my health and helped me regain control of my life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've recently been sharing my journey of using brain retraining to heal from my chronic conditions. Today I'm going to talk about something that really changed my life. How I used the principles from Dr. Claire Weekes' book, Hope and Help for Your Nerves, to not only calm my nervous system, but also to get rid of something that had been a constant struggle for me, POIS. But before we dive into this, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to spread this message to others who need to hear it. Thank you guys for being here. Let's get it started. Now, for starters, if you're unfamiliar with Dr. Claire Weekes, let me give you a bit of history. Dr. Weekes was an Australian physician, a pioneer in the field of anxiety and nervous system disorders. Back in the 1960s, before brain retraining was even a buzzword, she was helping thousands of people heal from chronic conditions like anxiety, panic attacks, chronic stress. Her most famous work, Hope and Help for Your Nerves, is a foundational piece in understanding how our nervous system works and retraining it to go from a constant state of overdrive back to a place of balance. It's rooted in the idea that we don't have to fight the symptoms anymore. We need to stop resisting them and instead calmly teach our brain that it's safe again. Okay, so let's talk about the biggest mistake that we all make when dealing with chronic symptoms. We try to fight them. Every time something feels off, we overanalyze it, panic, and go down Google rabbit holes looking for answers. We think to ourselves, I need to fix this. But here's the truth. That's exactly why we stay stuck. Think of your nervous system like a fire alarm. It's designed to protect you from real danger. But if it gets stuck in the on position, it starts firing off at everything. Loud noises, exercise, certain foods, or even normal bodily functions that shouldn't be a problem. And guess what? The more you fight it, the more your brain believes there's danger. Instead of fighting, we need to teach the brain that it's safe again. And that starts with a different approach. So, how do we actually fix this? Dr. Weekes outlined a 4-step process. Here's a quick rundown of the 4 steps. The first step is facing the symptoms. For me, this meant accepting the fact that I wasn't feeling well and recognizing that my nervous system was acting up, not something to panic about. When I felt symptoms starting to flare, instead of running from them or fearing the worst or going to Google, I faced them. I'd say to myself, this is temporary, it's just my body's reaction. This simple acknowledgement took away so much of the power that those symptoms had over me. Acceptance. This is the step that trips most people up. Now, this doesn't mean you have to like your symptoms, but it does mean you have to stop fighting with them. When I finally accepted my symptoms, I stopped the constant cycle of anxiety that made everything worse. I didn't try to fix it anymore. I just accepted that it was there. The third step is floating, letting go of control. Think of it like floating in the ocean when the waves are rough. You can't fight the waves, so you float, and eventually they pass. The more I let go of trying to fix or control the symptoms, the quicker they would pass. I just float through them, breathing calmly and reminding myself that the symptoms would naturally fade. Healing is a process. It's not overnight and it's definitely not linear. I had to trust that over time my body and mind would recalibrate. When I stopped stressing over every flare-up, I noticed the symptoms less and less. And as I kept applying these steps, various triggers and symptoms faded away completely. Now let's break this down practically. If you're in the middle of a symptom flare-up, here's how you apply these 4 steps. Face. Acknowledge the symptoms as they arise without fear. Tell yourself, I know what this is and it's temporary. No need to panic or rush for a solution. Accept. Stop trying to fix the symptoms immediately. Simply accept that you're feeling it, but remind yourself that it's not permanent. The more you resist, the longer it will persist. Float. Let go of the need to control everything. Don't overthink it. Take a breath. Allow the symptoms to exist without attaching any meaning to them. Just float through them. Let time pass. Healing isn't instantaneous or linear, but each time you practice these steps, you're teaching your nervous system that it's safe. With time, the episodes become less frequent, less intense, and eventually, they'll all fade away. Now, here's something huge that most people miss. It's not just about how you respond to your physical symptoms, but how you respond to your thoughts as well. Anxiety isn't just physical, it's very mental. And I'll tell you, when I was struggling, I spent so much time worrying about every little symptom, wondering, am I ever going to get better? That the constant mental chatter kept my nervous system in overdrive, and I stayed stuck in that cycle for a really long time. Here's the key. Every time your thoughts start spiraling, catch yourself. Instead of overanalyzing, simply remind yourself, I am safe, I am calm, this will pass. The more you practice this, the more your brain starts to believe it. Over time, those anxious thoughts will start to slow down, the tension will ease, and the physical symptoms will start to fade too. If you're going through a similar situation and dealing with bizarre, unexplained symptoms, I want you to know that there's hope. These steps laid the foundation for my healing and gave me the tools I needed to take control of my nervous system. I highly recommend Hope and Help for Your Nerves. I'll drop a link in the description below so you guys can grab a copy. Also, we made a free cheat sheet covering everything we discussed in today's video. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to grab that as well. But let me know in the comments, have you guys read Dr. Week's book? What was your biggest takeaway? And if you want more practical videos on brain retraining, make sure to subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Take care.